Hey, what's going on, guys? Tim here, doing another tutorial today, and this is on what's called a Rostoclot or shoelace style bracelet, or shoelace bracelet. Now, Rostoclot is actually the name of the brand that makes these kind of bracelets, or this style of bracelet, and they're, as I just said, they're made out of like a shoelace. It's really just a simple 3-strand braid, and the way they do their closure is they'll feed the two ends of the shoelace through like a closure or like a little bead, and they become almost like a self-adjusting bracelet, kind of like the self-adjusting paracord bracelets that I've done tutorials on. But anyways, this is my kind of take on them. I decided to do a knot and loop closure just because that's the method of closure I prefer, and also I'm not a huge fan of having a bracelet where there's like the two tails hanging out. Just my personal preference, but of course you could still apply this tutorial to that style of bracelet. But anyways, yeah, like I said, it's a knot and loop. I used a bow line for the loop part. There's the main braid. Yeah, just very simple 3-strand braid. And then I did a Celtic single-strand diamond knot, or Celtic diamond knot for the closure part. All right. So I guess because this is made of paracord, you can call it like a paraclot bracelet. That's a bit of a different take on it. So yeah, we're going to learn how to do this in this tutorial. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so I got my paracord ready. Got about 4.5 feet of paracord, almost 5 feet. You're probably not going to need that much, but I'm just giving myself a bit of extra to work with. And to tie our loop part of the bracelet, I'm going to tie actually a bow line, which is actually another useful knot or practical knot. But I figured I'd just use that one anyway because it creates a loop at the end of a strand that doesn't move, that the size doesn't change. So I figured that would be useful, right? So yeah, we're going to start at one end. I'm going to give ourselves a good few inches to work with, and then I'm going to make a loop like this. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to go take this end through the loop we just created underneath, and then we're going to go behind this strand up top here, and then we're going to go back through the loop we just created there. Okay, so this is where it should be right now, and then we're going to cinch it shut. So now obviously before you tie anything too tight, this loop is way too large because we're doing the knot and loop closure, so we want about, I'd say about, yeah, ½ inch loop is a standard. So what we can do is we can just tug on. You just have to figure out which end to tug on to shrink it, and you can pull that back out the other end. Okay, or you can do this end too. Right, so I'm just gonna adjust that and get it to the right size. So pull in this one a bit more. Okay, and it doesn't have to be perfect when you start, but you can always adjust it at the end. And after you're done adjusting, you'll want to snip and singe this piece here, and singeing it and clipping it off should make that knot solid and it shouldn't move. Okay, but we can do that later. All right, so that's the first step, tying the loop. All right, so now that we've tied our loop part of the bracelet, we're going to go on to tying the main braid. Okay, so at this point we're going to have to determine our length. I'm just going to use a ruler here. And my wrist is about 7 to 7.5 inches, and what I noticed is that this bracelet, you don't have to make it too long because it's so thin, it will fit very tightly around your wrist. So for me, you do have to take into account the length of the loop and the knot part. So I'm going to shoot for about 5 inches, just roughly. See, I'm not even really starting it too close to there, but that's okay. You may have to play with this a couple times to get the right length. Anyways, here's about 5 inches. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is I pinched off here the 5-inch mark. We're going to take our excess paracord, bring it back up to the top, kind of double it over like that, and then we're going to put this excess strand behind the loop part we just made. Okay, so this is what you'll be working with, right? Okay, so now, for any of you that have, braided something before, whether it be a ponytail or hair or whatever, you'll notice that you've got your 3 strands, and this is just a 3-strand braid. Okay. So for those of you who don't know how to do that, it's very simple. It's got a bit of fraying on the paracord. That's okay. Anyways, we're going to start off with our right side, and we're going to bring that to the middle, like that. I apologize if my thumb gets in the way here, but you'll get it in a second. All right. So we're going to put that right side into the middle, and then next, we're going to take the left side, left strand, and put that in the middle. Right. So you can see our braid starting to form. And then again, we're going to right side to the middle. So, you know, the 3-strand braid really just is taking the strand that's on the outside and moving it into the center. And you're just alternating left and right. Right? So we just did the right, now we're going to do the left. Okay, so see our braid starting to form. Now because this part is a loop, you see it's starting to get tangled with this 3rd strand, every now and then you're just going to have to take it out. Okay, because this will just kind of twist back and forth and it might get in the way. So we just did the left, we're going to do the right, like that, and then again, going to do the left, like that. I'm going to take this out, and then we're going to do the right. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So now I'm going to weave or keep braiding all the way down to the bottom of the loop, and it gets a little tricky at the end, so I'll show you what to do when we get there. Okay, so I'm woven down or braided down most of you know, the main body here, and there's not that much, right? So as you can see, the loop at the bottom is getting smaller, so it's going to get a little trickier to do. So now I just did left, I'm going to do right, and then what you're going to end up having to do is kind of just like twisting it like that, and then you're going to have to feed this one, you know, braid the right one on, and then over, and then put it through like that. Okay, so I just did right, I want to do left. So now see, it's getting a little tricky, and then I'm just going to twist the last one. This might be the last one we do. So we've got that there, just twisted that, and now see here, we're just going to feed the loop through, sorry, feed the end through the last loop here that we twisted. Okay, so I'm putting that through here, like that. So the last part isn't going to look that pretty, so you can kind of see it here. It doesn't look that bad actually. Alright, so that's how we end off our braid, and if you just pull it a little tighter, it should look okay, like that. Alright, so we're done braiding the main body of the bracelet here, and then now to finish it off, we're just going to tie a single strand diamond knot on the end. Alright, and to finish off, we're going to tie the single strand diamond knot, or also known as the Celtic button knot. I do have a separate tutorial on this, so I will still go through it now, but if you get confused at all, you can always consult that more detailed tutorial. But it's pretty simple, alright? So we've got our, you know, end here that we're still working with. I'm going to make one loop, like that. Right? The next, we're going to do the same loop again, like that. So we have our 2 loops. Kind of made our Venn diagram there, see? And then we're going to take this end, we're going to go over, under, under. So over, under through the middle here, and then under the last one. We're going to get this kind of 3-loop thing going on. Then we're going to bring this around the front, and then see this little kind of triangle or opening we've made in the middle here. We're going to take our strand we're working with again, the end, go over this strand here, under these 2, and then through the middle of that one. So over and under, and then we're going to pull it through. And then with this kind of mess of stuff, we're going to pull it tight. Now at this point you're going to just, I'm just going to work all the excess through it, but as you can see our knot is too far up, you know, see that, there's our bracelet. We want to move it down, and most of you who've tied, you know, the diamond knot should know how to do this already, but yeah, we're just going to move all the excess through the knot. Right, so we're going to look for our strand that's connected to all this excess. That's this one here, right? And then we're just going to pull it all the way through. See, we moved it down to here. So probably want it right about there, but we can always adjust it. All right, so I'm just going to cinch out all this excess, and we will be just about done. All right, and that is it, guys. We are done our Paraclot or Rastaclot paracord bracelet. All right, so I've trimmed off the excess, as you saw, earlier in the beginning of the video. Then we've got our braid going on here. Goes all the way to the end, and we did our Celtic diamond knot or single strand diamond knot, and we cut off the excess there too. And one thing I noticed about making this bracelet is that depending on the length, that could affect how the last kind of weave or braid finishes up. Sometimes it gets a little tight and you can't twist it anymore to do that last little braid. So you may have to play with the length here and there just to get it right. But yeah, that's about it, guys. That is the Paraclot or Rastaclot bracelet. It's the paracord take on the kind of classic shoelace bracelet. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.